Public speaking. Welcome to my channel where this is all things public speaking. I hope that does not scare you away. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. I am Ramona J Smith, world champion of public speaking, author, poet, mom, wife. Speaker, though, is my passion. That is the thing that I love the most. If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Like, comment, and share this video if you feel the content is relevant and valuable to you, your family, coworkers, or friends. Let's jump right into it. Many people have asked me how I wrote my world championship speech, Still Standing. And the rumor around the world was that I wrote the speech literally the night before the speech contest. And I just want to clear that up. I did not write the entire speech the night before the contest. I did not do that. I wrote the majority of the new content the night before. However, Still Standing was a remake. It was a revamp of a speech that I did in 2015 called Unbreakable. So it was called Unbreakable, and it was kind of the same theme and concept. It was overcoming obstacles, overcoming challenges, hence the title Unbreakable. No matter how many challenges I go through, I am unbreakable. I will always put myself back together, even if I fall apart, or I'm just indestructible. No matter what hits me, no matter what comes at me, I will never break. And the issue with Unbreakable was I did not kind of use the roller coaster method, is what I like to call it. So the roller coaster method is just an emotional strategy to bring the audience's feelings up or bring their excitement up and then bring them down with a story that's maybe sad or tragic, but then bring them back up at the end, because nobody wants to leave a speech feeling sad and depressed. Like, that's going to ruin their whole mood. That's going to affect their whole day. Some people who are deep thinkers are going to be thinking about that for the rest of the day. So you never want to leave the audience on low vibes, like low frequency. Like, you never want to say, I was walking down the street and I fell into a ditch. No matter which way I looked, I couldn't see any way out. No matter how loud I yelled for help, nobody would come help me. I spent the rest of my life in that ditch. Thank you. Like, no, tell us about you walking down the street, you fell into this ditch. Tell us about the hard times you experienced in the ditch. Tell us about you scream for help, but then tell us how you finally got out of the ditch and you came back to reality and everything went back to normal, or you experienced a new normal or something like that. Like, never leave the audience down spirited, okay? And so that's what I did with Unbreakable. I'm like, oh, this is happening and this is happening and this is happening. And the only thing I said to kind of bring the audience up was the last sentence of the speech, where I said something like, I am, you are, we are unbreakable. But at this point, everybody is like, oh my God, your life is so tragic. Oh my goodness. We just want to give you a hug. Like, you don't need to be in a speech contest. You need therapy. So that's what we never want to do. And so I learned that 3 years later with Still Standing. So I just kind of took some of the heartaches and issues and challenges that I experienced in Unbreakable, and I just restructured it into Still Standing. So I'm very old school with the way I write speeches, very old school. I still use a pen and pad. I still write everything down. For me, it's just not the same putting it in my phone. I mean, I put a few things in my phone, but usually I'll put like main points that I'm thinking about, or like brainstorming things. I'll put it in my phone or I'll type it up, but it's just something about putting the pen to the pad for me. So I'm old school, first of all. So give me a pen and a notepad, right? Well, this is kind of a lot of stuff, but a pile of stuff, but you know, pen and pad, and I am good to go. The first thing I always do is I start off with an old school outline, and in that outline I start with an intro, and then I go with the body, which is 3 main points. I like 3 main points, unless I have like tips or something, then I'll do like 5 or 10 tips or something, but usually it's 3 main points, and then I have a conclusion. So in my introduction, of course, there is a hook, or there is an attention grabber, an attention getter, whatever you want to call it, because you have to get people's attention first. It's not really going to capture people's attention immediately if you just get up there and say, hey, hello, my name is Ramona J Smith, and today I'm going to talk about public speaking. It's much more engaging and intriguing and gets people to kind of, put on their listening ears. If you start with maybe a dramatic statistic or something like that, and I'll just go with something cliche. I'll start with, instead of getting up there and saying, hello, my name is, I will get up there and I will say something like, speak or die. Which one would you choose? Did you know that 75% of the population fears public speaking more than death? You know, now isn't that more engaging and like it gets your attention than, hi, my name is Ramona Smith and today I'm going to talk about public speaking, right? Even if I said, hello, my name is Ramona J. Smith and today I'm going to talk about public speaking. Even with the same excitement, it just doesn't get your brain open. It doesn't get your gears grinding if I just say that. Whereas if I give you a startling statistic or make you think a little bit, you're like, what else is she going to say? So that's why I usually start the intro with some type of attention getter. You could do a question. You could do a devastating or a shocking statistic. You could do something out of the ordinary. Like some people like to, they'll whisper to get people's attention. Just something out of the ordinary that the audience may not be expecting. And that works for me. And I like that because I like speeches that are more engaging and fun instead of just sitting there listening to someone speak for an hour. And it's just like, okay, thank you for the information. Next. I'm a very animated speaker, so that may not be your style to be animated and razzle dazzle, but still, you can still make your speech interesting from the first word that you speak if you do something creative and something different. So I always introduce that into the first part of my speech. Also in the introduction, I try to kind of give a summary or give a glimpse about what I'm going to be talking about for the rest of the time that I have their attention. So I'll give that attention grabber, and then I'll introduce myself. My name is Ramona J. Smith. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you to whomever invited me. I appreciate that. Then I think a lot of speakers forget, where can people find you? Now, people forget to say, you know, hey, my Instagram is this, my YouTube is this. They forget to let people know like where they can find you, because even though they might not remember through the speech, there's going to be somebody on their phone. Somebody's going to have their phone immediately. There are going to be probably a couple of people who are already on Instagram while you're speaking. So why not take advantage of that moment and bring them onto your social media? So I give my information. I kind of say, hey, you can find me here, 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 and there. And I'm also going to repeat that in the conclusion, but here, 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 and here. And I'm going to be speaking about how you can overcome public speaking, right? And then I'll transition into main topic number one. So that's my introduction, the attention grabber, saying hello, saying hi, giving them a little bit about who I am, giving them a summary of what I'm going to be talking about, and then transitioning into my 3 main points. So that's the body. In my body, it is always 3 main points. I'm going to be talking about why you need a speaking coach. I'm going to be talking about why people are afraid of public speaking. And I'm going to talk about 3 things to do before every single speech, or something like that. So that's my body. It's pretty simple. And then in the conclusion, I have a summary of everything I just said. And then I'll give my social media information. And then I'll always give a call to action. What do you want? People call it a CTA. What do you want people to do now that they've listened to you for 15, 30, 45, 2 hours? What do you want them to do now that they've heard your speech, right? So in a speech about public speaking, maybe the call to action would be, I challenge you to give your first speech in the next 10 days. How can you do that? By working with me. I can be your public speaking coach, or by simply watching videos on YouTube, or just practicing in your living room, something like that, right? Or to try to overcome the fear of public speaking by facing your fear head on. Go and get on live on Facebook once a week for the next 6 weeks and see if that makes you more comfortable, or something like that. So you always want to have a call to action, something that people need to do, or some homework for people to do once they leave your presence and they've listened to you for all this certain amount of time. You always want to give them something to do after, like what's the message? What's in it for me is what we like to call it. What's in it for them? What's in it for the audience? So that's really simple. Like that is really how I write pretty much all of my speeches: introduction, body, and conclusion. I don't really have any fancy formulas. I try to make it simple. I try to keep it simple. Simplify public speaking, because once you start overthinking it, that's when you have way too much content, or that's when you don't have enough content, or that's when you kind of get sidetracked and you just go all over the place and you can't even pick a topic or a title because you're overthinking it, right? Keep it simple. I am here to simplify public speaking for you. So just keep it simple. Write a simple outline, stick to 3 to 5 main points, go into the conclusion with a call to action and summarize up what you just did. Do not forget to tell the people where they can find you. If they loved your speech and they enjoyed what you said and you made them feel great, or you empowered them, you informed them, you persuaded them, you inspired them, you motivated them, they're going to want more. So make sure you tell them where they can find you. Follow me on social media. Follow me on Instagram at Ramona J Smith 1. Email me, contact RamonaJSmith@gmail.com. I really want to stay connected with you all. And you can also get email addresses while you're there if that's something that you want to do. But that is really, in a nutshell, how I wrote my world championship speech. I actually got invited to speak and do kind of a masterclass on how to win the world championship of public speaking. And I said, I'm not the best person to ask, because I don't have these secret recipes. I have tips that worked for me, and I have ideas and strategies that may work for you that I've learned from other people, but I'm just not that guy. You know, like, I'm not the formula, you have to do this, and this. Like, I'm really into the more natural approach, you know, getting up there, making sure you prepare, making sure you practice, making sure you talk about something that is important to you or something that you're really interested in, getting with a coach, or using what you already know to map it out, to structure it, to organize it, and then getting up there and giving the speech. It's not rocket science. Like, the biggest thing is the fear of actually getting up there, because most of us are very intelligent and we're very smart. And when it's something that we know about, it's not that we don't know what we're talking about. It's just that when you get all those eyes on you, it's just pressure. You know, what if I mess up? Are they going to laugh at me? What if I don't say the right thing? Or some people just don't want to have 1,000 different reputations in a room full of 1,000 people. It's just that simple. But that's how I wrote my world championship speech. I sat down, I got a pen and a pad, and I just organized it in that way. And I used the 3 rounds. I used the marriage, the speaking, and the marriage, the speaking, and the education. Those were my 3 points. And then I jazzed it up from there. But I got a lot of feedback from my district leaders. I let a lot of people help me with the editing. And it was a kind of a simple process. All I did was use what I know. I talked about what I knew. I talked about what I knew best, which is myself and my experiences, right? So it was very simple. I try to keep it as simple as possible. If you go watch the speech Still Standing, you'll see it's probably at a 7th grade level as far as content. It's nothing that's too hard to digest or too hard to understand. So when you're writing your speech, just try to keep it simple. If you need a little bit of help, contact me. Contact RamonaJSmith@gmail.com. Instagram is Ramona J Smith 1, the number 1, Ramona J Smith, the number 1. Facebook, Ramona J Smith. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. I need to get more into LinkedIn. So go ahead and follow me on all those social media platforms. Drop a comment if you have any more specific questions. And thank you all so much for joining me. And I will see you in the next video to help simplify public speaking. I know you like my earrings. Imani made these earrings. Unfortunately, I don't think she's making these anymore. That's why I kept mine. But thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.